Welcome in, Max.
How you doing?
Doing well, thank you. We'll go ahead and open it for questions, guys.
Max, how avid a Dodgers fan were you and your family when you were growing up?
Growing up in LA, you were probably either a Dodger and Angel fan, and I grew up about 25, 30 minutes from Dodger Stadium, so I grew up watching the Dodgers.
Did you go to a lot of games as a kid with your father or whatever?
Yeah, no, we would go as a family. Pretty, I'd say average, not like too much, but we would go to a couple games every year.
I know you pitched against them a few times, and I know this series is huge no matter who the opponent is, but at least the first time or two you pitched against them, was there a little something special there?
Yeah, I mean, the first time I pitched at Dodger Stadium was the 2018 playoffs, so it was cool, but able to throw in front of some friends and family. It was a really cool experience.
Max, how would you say that this team is better than that 2018 team? I mean, I think it's pretty obvious, but in what ways do you think why you guys feel so much more confident this time?
I'd say the biggest one is experience. Just being able to, for a lot of us, this is now the third playoffs that we've been playing in. A little bit more experience, more seasoning, just feeling more comfortable as who we are as players, and just going out there and playing and not trying to put too much pressure on ourselves.
And how much does that bullpen, how much more confidence does that give you guys too, knowing how many guys you got down there? Good guys.
It makes any starter's job that much easier. You know that you put together a good outing, keep your team in the game, and you hand the ball off to the bullpen, and you're going to stay. You got a really good chance of putting up zeros and going to win that game. So having a lot of faith and confidence in that bullpen is that's how we got here so far. We've really leaned on them.
Thank you.
Max, what's the scouting report on the Dodger hitters?
It's a good experienced team. It's they've been here before. They're not going to be, they're not going to kind of they're going to stick to their game plan, and they're not going to beat themselves. They're going to go out there and grind out bats. They're not going to chase too much, and they're going to play some good hard baseball. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Max, we've seen you grow mentally a lot over the last couple of years. Do you feel like you're even much better prepared for a game one start than maybe you would have been last year or the year before?
Yeah, of course. Last year, kind of the first full year starting, I felt like I was, really feeling things out. As of right now, I'm ready to take the ball whenever they tell me. And it's game one, so I'm gonna go out there, try to give us the best start possible, and try to come off the right foot.
How do you look at the last start? Is it just motivation? I want to get back on track. It's something that happens. Or have you even just don't even think about it at all? You go back and you try to see what went wrong or what different things that might have happened, and at the end of the day, it was just a lack of execution. Left some pitches over the plate, and I made some good swings, and we're on it. So I feel like if I'm able to go out there and execute my pitches and put them in good spots, it should be a pretty good recipe for success.
Max, I wanted to ask you about your relationship with Reggie Smith, how you came to know him, and given that obviously he was a hitter and you're a pitcher, what kind of help he's been able to give you, I guess, even to this day, right?
Yeah, no, Reggie's been my mentor since I first met him when I was 4 years old. Working out in Encino Little League in LA, he has his camps that he ran out of there, and he did all of his lessons and everything. So from a young age, I was able to kind of learn and have my baseball knowledge from Reggie. And growing up, I was always playing outfield and first base, so I was definitely a position player, and I would pitch too. But we started to have more kind of deep conversations about pitching and setting hitters up, and just kind of different baseball conversations that you have. And
he kind of helped me get into the mind of a hitter, just see what they look for, what they go to, and also just he's just a really good and smart baseball mind. So any and every question that I have, I can always reach out to him, and I know that he's there for me. So he's been someone I've really been able to lean on.
Thank you.
And Matt, what about fans for the first time this year? And what was the incoming messages about how many freed family members wanted tickets to this game?
It's going to be exciting. I know that everyone's going to be really excited to play in front of some fans. Obviously, we've missed them a lot, throughout the year. Obviously, with everything going on, social distancing, it's going to be a little strange. Definitely gotten used to, the no fans and everything, but I couldn't be more excited. It'll be a lot of fun.
Max, what do you think allows Ronald to kind of have that knack for coming up big in big moments? Whether it was the Grand Slam a couple years ago, leadoff homer, he's had a lot of success here in the postseason.
He embraces the moment. No moment's ever too big for him. He's always out there having fun and being himself. You don't see him put too much pressure. He's whether it's the first inning or the ninth inning, he's still going to be who he is. And when you're able to go out there and be yourself, you're going to allow yourself to perform to the best of your abilities. And I think that's something that I definitely look to in Ronald, where it reminds me, hey, don't put too much pressure on yourself. Relax, have fun, play the game, and let it come to you instead of trying to force it.
Max, how has your approach against righties evolved, and what have been the key reasons why you've had so much success against them this season?
I think it's just overall just execution. Over the last couple of years, it's just more of I would try to, whether it's do too much or make the perfect pitch or try to just overthrow. I wasn't really putting my pitches in the best spot to get outs. And when you leave the ball over the plate at this level, hitters are really going to make you pay for it. So you make mistakes and you're going to give up advantage. And this year I've tried to just do a better job of executing my pitches and just putting them in better spots.
And then growing up in LA, Max, who were your favorite players?
I would say growing up in LA, it's kind of out there, but the two guys that I really looked to pitching wise were Clayton Kershaw and Cole Hamels.
And have you ever had a chance to talk to Clayton about that in the past and really kind of meet and talk pitching with him?
I've met him when I was younger. It's been a long time. I haven't talked to him in a long time, but we met very briefly. I think it was probably when I was still in high school.
Great. Thanks, Max.
I've read too that growing up, a lot of folks, as you developed, a lot of folks are always telling you stories about Sandy Koufax. Who was talking to you about Sandy Koufax, and what did you take from that?
The first introduction really was from my dad. He grew up in LA, so Sandy Koufax is arguably one of the best pitchers ever. And when you pitch for the Dodgers and you grow up in LA, it's an easy person to root for. And just being able to have that and be able to see it and kind of see some similarities between with me being a left-handed pitcher and having a curveball at the time, it was someone that was kind of easy to idolize. And he's from talking also with being able to have that relationship with Reggie and hearing stories about it, you just heard about how great of a person he was, aside from being, as good of a player he is. So it was just someone that was really, really easy to idolize.
And did you intentionally wear his number in high school? Is that right?
I did.
Why did you stop, or when did you stop?
I wore it pretty much, pretty decently through the minor leagues, but when I got to the big leagues, I kind of just got handed a number and haven't changed since.
Max, the regular season was so much shorter this year. I'm wondering, how do you feel physically right now compared to a typical October?
If you were to ask me before, I probably would have said more fresh, but it still feels like, we were throwing throughout the quarantine and everything, so it kind of catches up to you. But you feel probably better than I would in another October when you go through 162. But as far as coming into it right now, I'm feeling great. I honestly, I can't wait to get back out there. Honestly, it's going to be a lot of fun. But the mental grind of this year of just the abiding by the protocols and kind of doing social distancing, staying away from people, and kind of being quarantined at home, especially when you'd be living in your house. It's definitely kind of taken a different mental toll, and it definitely feels like we've played 162.